Busy tonight?
What's up, man?
Busy tonight?
Yeah, it was a pretty busy night.
Oh yeah? A lot of crimes?
No, not too bad.
No? You say it's... What's your name?
Deputy Jason Johnston, sir.
Jason Johnson. That's quite a name.
What's that?
I said that's quite a name. Jason
Yes,
Johnson. Yeah. So you said it's busy, but there's no crimes?
Well, there were some crimes, yes, sir.
Oh yeah? Like what?
A couple of family violences, a couple of crashes, a couple of DWIs, that kind of stuff.
Family violence. That's definitely a crime.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Just trying to protect the public and that kind of stuff. You know?
Yeah, no, it was a wet night for sure. I
Couple of
saw
crashes and that kind of thing.
I saw there was a big crash here earlier today, right on the highway here, but it was in the afternoon yesterday
Probably
about
before
4:30.
we came on.
Yeah, no, it was the PD that was there.
Sorry,
But-
the radio was loud. Before the nights came on.
Yeah, it was about a 5-car crash. A car rolled.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was bad. I've seen a lot of accidents right here on the highway, actually.
Right here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and on the frontage road right there, not the frontage road, but the U turn
okay,
there.
right,
You know,
the
like when
U-turn,
they're
yes,
coming
sir.
on. For some reason, this is a bad little area. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
it's-
Yeah,
I think it's probably because, you know, how high maybe that gets right there. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yes, sir.
No idea at all. So you work with LaBouffe?
I think that's how you say it. Maybe you say LeBeau, maybe. Is that-
I might be saying it wrong.
Yes,
yeah, I
sir.
don't know.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
that's funny because I asked him if he was saying it right, and he didn't tell me. So.
Oh, okay. I think
yeah.
he works an opposite shift. We work for the same.
Oh, I see. You both work at nights, but
in a different shift.
I see. So your shift respects the Constitution?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
My job is to support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
I like you already, Jason Johnson. Yeah,
Yes,
no, LeBeau or LaBouffe or whatever it is, he doesn't respect the Constitution at all.
I believe that every United States police officer's job is to support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
We're going to be best friends. Do you carry one?
The Constitution
Mm-hmm.
in my heart.
Oh, not in your pocket?
No, sir.
Well, there's still room for improvement.
Always.
Do you know every word?
Not every word, because my mind is not big enough to hold every word.
No? All right. Well, how about the first sentence of the Fourth Amendment?
The Fourth Amendment is to protect individual rights from search and seizure.
But you don't know the first sentence?
Probably not off the top of my head, only because I've been at work for over 12 hours now. So
The
it is
right of
to-
the people
the right of the people
to be secure
yes,
in their
from the
person.
government, from
No.
taking you from us taking your stuff from you, from us coming into your homes, from us coming into your cars. That's the gist of it.
Well, there's the gist, but then there's actually the literal words.
Okay,
And
please.
the right of the people to be secure in their person. Okay, now that sounds like a funny sentence,
No, what
but
that means is I cannot search you without probable cause or a warrant.
well, it says that you can search a person if you have probable cause.
Correct.
But what it is also saying is that the people have a right to be in their person. And just like the freedom of speech, you have the right to make speech. You have the right not to make speech.
That's true.
You have the right to believe in religion. You have the right not to believe in religion.
That's very
So,
true.
by the same respects, if the people have the right, okay, the people have the rights.
Okay.
Here. Now, if the people have the right to be in their person, they also have the right not to be in their person.
Okay.
And this is critical because your codes, like speeding,
Okay.
apply to persons.
Okay.
They say no person shall do this or no person shall do that.
Okay.
But they never say the people cannot do this or do that.
Okay.
Right? So the Fourth Amendment is cluing us in that there's a difference between people and persons.
Okay.
It's the first time the word person was used in the Constitution.
As opposed to people.
As opposed to people. People is always used in reference to rights and powers.
Okay.
And persons are used in reference to getting seized, searched, working in the government, privileges and immunities. Right? Like the 14th Amendment says any person born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the authority thereof is a citizen and shall not be deprived of any privileges or immunities. But
Right.
privileges and immunities are not rights and powers. Can
That's
we
very
agree? right?
agree.
And sometimes they might look the same, right? Like right now, you have the privilege of freedom of religion, whereas I have the right.
Okay.
You see, because yours has been messed with. Like, you can't really preach it when you're wearing the uniform, because
Oh,
separation of church and state,
absolutely.
right? And your freedom of speech is actually a privilege, and it's been messed with. You have to wear that uniform,
Right.
which is freedom of expression,
Right.
right? And like, you don't have the freedom of the press right now.
Right.
So it's been messed with. And if you were one of the people, then it could not be denied. It could not be deprived. It could not be abridged, right?
Okay.
But persons are different.
Okay.
I think you kind of understand what I'm saying.
I think
like
you and I are on the same plane.
Constitutionalist.
Absolutely. I am a strict constitutionalist.
All right. Well, there's an argument to being strict and there's an argument to being loose, but nobody ever says you can't use the literal translation. Nobody will say that.
Right.
They will say, well, it could be stretched. Right, like right to bear arms. Like me, I would say, well, I'm not quite sure. Right? Literally, if you read it literally, you know, it says the people, in order to have a regulated militia, right to bear arms, right? But it's not really specific like what arms are.
Right.
You know what I mean? But whereas like the freedom of the press, okay, that's a specific word.
Right.
And it cannot be denied from the people, you know? So press, like right now, am I pressing on?
Right.
Right? In the freedom of assembly, am I assembling forth?
Right.
Right? And the freedom of religion, you know, am I legioning about?
Right.
See, these are literal definitions of
Right.
those words, you know? So, like, whereas we could say that it's a privilege to drive,
Okay.
right? I have no argument there.
Oh,
it's a
100%.
privilege to drive.
100%.
But is everybody driving?
In the world?
No, are all these cars, are all of them driving? I mean, it looks like they're pressing on, assembling forth, legioning about, sounding off, pursuing
I see what
happiness,
you're saying.
right? And,
Right.
and driving does have a specific definition, codified,
Right.
right? And
In the
it's
Texas
not
Base Code,
it's
yeah.
not the same definition that we use in
Right.
everyday walk around, you know. Like motor vehicle has its own definition. It's two words put together, but it has its own definition for motor vehicle.
Correct. Each
Right.
word has its own definition.
Yeah, but it's a compound word. It's
Correct.
not like you take the definition of motor and you add it to the definition of vehicle and you
Correct.
get motor vehicle.
Correct.
That's an illusion that many of us might believe. But, you know, I think we're on the same page that I think all of these cars, I don't think they're driving. I don't think they're motor vehicles.
Right.
This is definitely a motor vehicle.
Okay.
I mean, you see where I'm going?
I sure
I mean,
do.
well, and I'm not saying it's just commerce, right? Because it says any person. Definition of driving and motor vehicle is a motor vehicle has to be driven by a person. A motor vehicle, or to drive, you have to be a person, right? And a
Right.
person is more than just commerce.
Right.
Like you're a person because you work for the government.
Right.
And an immigrant would be a person.
Right.
Because why? Why would an immigrant be a
This is
person?
an individual as opposed to a group.
No.
In my mind.
Well, an immigrant is a person because they have to ask permission from the government in order to come here.
Okay.
So they weren't born with their rights from their creator,
Okay.
like we were.
I see how
right?
you look at it.
If you're born here, okay, then you're one of the people.
Okay.
When you're not doing commerce, if you don't work for the government,
Okay.
if you're not in the military, right? Because see, when you volunteered to join the police department, what you did is you volunteered to step into your person,
Okay.
the right of the people to be secure in their person.
Right.
Well, it goes without saying that they're secure when they're not in their person. I mean, we don't even need to talk about that because the
Right.
people are up here, right? And the government is of the people, for the people, and by the people.
Mm-hmm.
So they're below. So, you know, if you're a servant of the people, would you agree?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so if you're a servant of the people, you can't tell the people what to do. Servants don't tell their master what to do. But you tell persons what to do. You have 100% authority over persons at all times.
Okay, I see
At
the
all
delineation
times.
that you're making. Yes, sir.
Right? But
Yes, sir.
the only way to tell one of the people what to do is if you're protecting another one of the people's rights. So, like, everybody has the right to life. Okay? If I was to taken somebody's life, then I had abridged their rights.
Right.
Right? And so, of course, you know, you got to protect their rights too.
Right.
Right? Like if I robbed somebody or whatever. But, like, when we get into things like the state of Texas is the victim, okay, then we're talking about persons.
Right.
Right? Because only a person can harm the state of Texas. I mean, the state of Texas only exists on paper.
Right.
And persons only exist on paper.
Right.
Right? So a living, breathing human cannot hurt the state that it created.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
You know, I like
that's all
you.
just legal
Absolutely, it's legal.
mumbo jumbo, for lack of a better.
You're calling it semantics.
Correct.
Well, let's say
But that's a better definition than my mumbo jumbo.
Well, can we
at
agree that the
5 in the
Constitution
morning.
is a contract?
Oh, absolutely.
Anything in writing, an agreement between two
absolutely.
people in writing. So it's a written contract.
Absolutely.
And all contracts are enforceable in any court of law?
Most are, yes.
Okay, well, in that contract, let's say that we made a contract, you and I, and you agreed to sell me 1,000 blue shirts.
Okay.
And then on delivery, we find out that they're actually navy blue shirts.
Okay.
Okay, now one could say that's semantics, but when we get down to it, it's not the same color.
Right.
Right? And you know, this is a different color, people and persons, because see, when you're using the color of law, right, in order to arrest somebody.
Right.
Okay. Well, under color of law, if you're arresting a person and accusing them of, or arresting one of the people, and you're accusing them of being a person is an element of the crime.
Right.
Right. You have to prove all the elements.
Right.
You know, and so the first thing any one of your codes says, like in the transportation code, you know, all of the codes, they start out, no person shall do this.
Right.
Right? You know, it's unlawful for a person to walk on, upon, or across a highway. Right? Well, it doesn't say the people can't do it.
What's the 20 on that call? Sorry, hold on.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Definitely.
You were work on the SWAT?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, with Pence.
Yes.
Yeah, Pence. He started off a little hot and heavy, but we're cool now. But
Good.
yeah, I film on stops. You know,
Oh, okay.
I've never seen you.
No,
but,
I'm new. I did 10 years at Austin Police.
Oh, okay.
And then I just came up here just a few months ago.
Okay, yeah.
I'm very used to people filming me. That doesn't.
Yeah, I'm no threat at all. Like,
whatever.
you know.
As long as you stay out of my personal space.
He threatened to arrest me for interfering when I don't know how familiar you are with 3815, but I'm familiar with it.
I've been in Austin for 10 years.
Okay, you know, speech can never be used as interfering.
Like I said, as long as you stay out of my personal space.
Yeah, like, I mean, I could understand, like, if you're here on a traffic stop, I am not going to walk in between you and your car, right? And I keep you know, if there was a car, if you had a car right there, I might be like this close, right? But I'm not going to get in between you and what you need to do, and I'm not going to be trying to talk to them, or, you know what I mean? That would be interfering, I would think, right? And I wouldn't do that. But just like, and then if you were like, take a couple steps back, and I was right here, I'd say no, right? And that's what happened. You know what I mean? He wanted to threaten me with interference, right? And I think that's kind of thuggish. Well, you know what I mean? Like, I called him a gang member for that.
I think some people just can be uncomfortable with other people involved in a stop that aren't involved in the stop. You know what I mean? I
mean, I can understand how somebody would be uncomfortable, but your uncomfortableness doesn't trump my right.
No, I get that, but
right.
Look at it from our point of view. We're concentrating on a potential threat. Not that there is, but a potential.
Right.
And not that you are,
right.
But a potential. And if we have to look here and here and here and here, that's a lot of stuff to pay attention to.
Well,
and like I said, if somebody doesn't,
you can call another officer, or you can wait until they get here.
Have experience
Yeah.
downtown Austin that maybe I've had.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do, but you cannot make me move, like from public property.
Oh, I agree.
Right, unless you suspect me of a crime. You know, I often say, like, when somebody says that to me, like LaBouffe, now he was much worse than Pence. He actually ran up and got right here.
Right.
And was yelling at me right here and would never move, you know, and that's definitely invading my private space, right? And I mean, nobody could do that if they weren't an officer, right? That would be a threat.
What was your name?
Well, the people.
Okay,
it's not nice to call the people names, but I'm one of the people.
Okay, well,
right.
Mr. People,
but
I
no
have to go to this
disrespect,
call,
but I like you a lot. Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Hopefully, I see you again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Master by the name of Bates, smoking more than all 50 states combined. Yeah, right, I gotta stay on the grind. I got no money, so my weed's on my mind. I hit the club, but you know I can't dance. 7 and 7 in my cutoff chance. Had that shirt and my long ass hair. What part of how I look makes you think I